Hello, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to this video. Thank you very much for clicking onto it. It has been a while since I sat down and recorded a video for YouTube, and especially my last few videos on here were travel videos, but I have just been quite busy this summer just working on my travel blog, The Wandering Queen, which is my main job, my main income, and that has been keeping me really busy recently. I also moved to Manchester, so there's been a lot of changes going on, but I did decide that I really want to sit down and film some more videos for YouTube, especially on what it has been like being a revert Muslim, because I do also get so many lovely comments on my Instagram saying that people found me through YouTube and that I've really helped them, and mashallah, that is just so amazing for me to hear. And recently I've been like, oh, I feel really bad that I haven't been making any new videos recently, so inshallah there will be more to come. And on that note as well, if you're not following me on Instagram, then please do, because I do share a lot more over there, a lot more day-to-day life. So as you can tell by the title of this video, I did become a Muslim a year ago. Actually, it was just over a year ago now. So I thought to get me back into making videos, I would do a Q&A. So I asked you on Instagram what questions you have for what it has been like being a Muslim for 1 year. So I think a good question to start on is the journey going harder or easier than expected? Now, I really felt like when, a year came around of me being Muslim, I honestly thought that I would feel different. Like I would feel like it was like more of a monumental occasion than what it felt like. But that wasn't a bad thing, because I think overall, I just felt like it just feels normal to be Muslim now. So when a year came around, it didn't really feel like anything so crazy and spectacular. Obviously, alhamdulillah, I'm very grateful for it. But if you understand what I'm saying, like it just feels so normal to be Muslim. So, I would definitely say the answer to this question has been easier than I expected, just from that feeling that I've had where, I do really feel like the last year has been a lot of gradual changes, small changes that have, amounted to something bigger. Like everything in life really, small changes create big changes, and that is something that I've been working on in the last year, definitely. And I do feel just very guided in what has happened to me in the last year. I didn't expect to be living in Manchester right now, but I am, and I'm very grateful for that life change, alhamdulillah. So yeah, I do feel like it's been easier than I expected. I will also add the caveat in there. What I often do in my videos when I talk about it is that, I am aware that it has been COVID. And actually, COVID for me has been made my life a lot easier as a Muslim, I think, because it's really enabled me to take my own time. I haven't been kind of going to so many events where I feel then pressured to do things or think I'm doing things wrong, or I don't know, something like that. But I feel like the last year, it's also been very easy, to keep up with my prayers and things, because I have spent a lot of time inside over the last year. Things are obviously changing right now as things are opening up, but overall COVID has made everything a lot easier in a lot of ways, so alhamdulillah for that. So what has been the best and hardest part of being Muslim so far? I'm a revert as well and love your channels. So firstly, mashallah for being a revert. Like I said, I get so many lovely messages from people who are thinking about reverting to Islam, who have, whether it's for like 1 week, they converted 1 week ago, or like 10 years ago. And it's so lovely for me to read those messages. And if you are like a new Muslim or thinking about Islam watching this video, then I do really want you to remember that there are so many people converting. It's something that I wasn't quite aware of, just how many people actually do convert to Islam. It is a huge number, and I also get so many messages from women, and women from Western countries, women that are white skinned. A lot of people like, I saw your videos, you look like me, you've become Muslim, like I can relate to you. So please do keep that in mind if that's the kind of worry that you have. But for me, I would say, let's start with the hardest part. So I'd say the hardest part has been just the amounts that there is to learn. I honestly thought that I would probably be a lot further on in my Arabic than I am. I'm pretty much still at zero. I've taken a few classes, group classes, and I just haven't been able to commit to them. You know, I know the prayer, the salah in Arabic, but I learned that over a year ago. So I really, in that sense, I'm like, how much progress have I actually made? You know, I've learned a couple more surahs, well, only 2 more surahs during Ramadan, and I still struggle with some of those anyway, and they're the very short ones at the end of the Quran. So I think, you know, just with the amount there is to learn, it is overwhelming. I should be doing Quran classes now, I should be doing Tajweed classes, I should know this. But, you know, I am really just trying to take that again as like a journey. You know, it's just been 1 year, you know, you can't expect to learn everything. And instead I have been, you know, I feel like I have been putting other things in place in this last year as well. You know, there's also the thing of, you know, you can learn everything, but are you actually putting it into practice? And then there's people who, I guess, maybe put things into practice, but maybe they don't know as much, you know, Arabic, but I'm still, you know, doing my prayers, doing my fast, everything like that. So, yeah, so that's kind of been the hardest part, is just thinking about, wow, there is so much to learn, but, you know, just kind of reminding myself that it is a journey, and inshallah I will get there, and I will start doing all of these classes that I do need to do. But the best part of being Muslim so far, I'd say, is just the feeling of contentment that I've got and still have. You know, when I did my Shahada, that was a feeling that I said that I had, and it's a feeling that I've heard a lot of people say that they feel when they do their Shahadas, is feeling of contentment, this kind of feeling of, you know, trust. And I still have that trust in God. You know, whenever I pray, whenever I make dua, you know, I really kind of confirm, you know, that I have this trust in Allah. And, you know, I'm so grateful to, you know, for everything in my life as well. And it's so nice to be able to have somewhere to share that gratitude to kind of push that energy of gratitude to, and that love and that trust. And you know, that really has helped me in the last year, especially make some, you know, big decisions. So that has been probably the best thing. How have you felt about it? Your thoughts process before a revert and after being a muslimah? So I think that this is a good question, because I think that, like everything, you know, doesn't matter what you plan to do, you know, you kind of imagine, you know, what your life will be like in 1 year, or what your life will be like once you've made this big decision, and what it does in reality actually happen like is often quite different, like for everything. So I think for me, you know, I did think that, like I said, that I thought that I would be a lot further on in my learning. Instead I'm not, but at the same time, you know, I actually have got a question about hijab, so I'll go on to hijab more in a minute. But, you know, for example, I have been wearing the hijab a lot more recently. I have been dressing more modestly recently, and not only just doing that, but really enjoying it and finding that it's very normal now for me to do. And to be honest, a year ago, I didn't really think that that would be the case. You know, seeing like a modest swimsuit on a model on Instagram, I was like, oh, I don't know if I would really wear that, you know, a year ago. But this year, you know, I've got a modest swimsuit, I have been wearing it, I'm going on a trip soon where I will wear it, and I feel fine with it. And I didn't think that a year ago, you know, so there's been a lot of changes, I guess. Yeah, there's places where I thought I would be in a year's time that I'm not, and places where I didn't think I would be and I am. So, you know, it has been just an amazing journey, and I think that, you know, I really just have let it be very guided, and also not overthought things too much. You know, I really do believe that Allah gives you information when you need it, and gives you those, you know, changes in opinion and the changes in your heart when you need them. You know, you might be saying like, I could never do that, but then this time next year you actually are. Okay, let's talk about the hijab actually, as soon as I mentioned it. So how are you finding hijab? Have you permanently started to wear it? It suits you very much, by the way. So thank you very much for that lovely comment. So if you do follow me on Instagram, you will notice that I have been wearing it a lot more recently. I'm definitely still not wearing it permanently, but I am making more of an effort to wear it online, and just wear it out a lot more as well. And it's something that I'm becoming to really enjoy, like I just mentioned, and it's becoming a lot more normal for me as well. You know, even again, like a few weeks ago, you know, when I just quickly popped to the shop down the road, you know, I I wouldn't have worn hijab, like I'm literally just popping out for 5 minutes. But then this morning I went out and I did actually decide to put it on. And so those small changes for me, you know, are just, again, they're just part of a bigger journey, and it's really nice to be able to witness those things. I think it's just also such a good reminder not to, you know, judge other people's journeys, because the steps of a journey are so beautiful, and if you'd gone from 0 to 0, you completely miss out those steps, and the person that you're judging also misses out those steps if they go from 0 to 0. So I've definitely found that, and yeah, I have just enjoyed wearing it a lot more. I think for me the biggest thing has just been getting used to myself in hijab. You know, when you first put hijab on, it can look very, very strange, not like yourself, and I think that's something that obviously puts a lot of people off, which is completely understandable. So for me, you know, because I've been wearing it more slowly recently, I've been experimenting with different styles, with different colours, with different textures, with different outfits. You know, I have just started to get used to seeing myself in it, and the more I get used to seeing myself in it, the more I realize, like, oh, I am myself in hijab, whereas before, when I first started wearing it, I didn't really feel like myself in it, which is also something that, you know, we don't want as Muslims, revert Muslims. You know, we want to be ourselves, but as a Muslim, right? So we don't want to turn into a different person. This is something I've also spoken about on my channels. So yeah, so I think that the question to that is, yeah, I haven't started wearing it permanently, but I am making a much more bigger effort to wear it, and I'm really enjoying it, so Alhamdulillah. So are there any aspects of your life before coming to Islam that you miss, and what do you do to help? And I got a couple of questions along these lines, to be honest, regarding things that I miss, and I'd say, I guess the biggest thing is just that, you know, there is a lot to think about in Islam when you are a Muslim. There are, you know, I don't really like to say that there are lots of do's and don'ts, because I think that that makes the religion sound off-putting to people. But the reality is, you know, there are things that you are recommended to do and not recommended to do. And I also don't want to use should and shouldn't, because I don't think that's a very nice way to say it either. But that does take some getting used to, and sometimes, you know, you just feel like you just want to do whatever and not have to have these things that you should and shouldn't be doing. So that, you know, sometimes I feel like you kind of lost as much carefreeness. A lot of the time as well, and on this question, like, what do I do to help? I have really been comparing myself to my non-Muslim friends, to be honest. So, for example, you know, I think a lot of people something that people might miss when they become Muslim is, you know, the social life of going out, whether that's probably with your non-Muslim friends, and maybe like parties that you're being invited to that you feel like you can't go to anymore. And that is definitely a big thing, especially if you did have a big social life before, which did involve kind of drinking and things. And, you know, for me, the way I look at it now is that a lot of my friends aren't really going out, especially because of COVID. You know, they've all kind of just reined it back in. You know, they all say like themselves, they're all getting a little bit older, we all are, and they don't really feel like doing it. So I haven't actually had to decline any birthday invitations or party invitations or anything over the last year since I've become Muslim, because none of my friends have been going out doing that either. And at the same time, you know, I have been out for drinks with friends. Obviously I haven't drank, but they have drank. We've been in a bar, in a pub, or in an outside beer garden, and I am fine with that. So this completely changes to everyone, but I'm at a stage where I'm happy to be around them if they're having a few drinks. I'm happy to go to a pub garden in the summer, in the sunshine, and I don't drink, but they do. And I think that has also really helped me not miss it, because, okay, yeah, I'm not drinking, but I'm also happy not drinking, that's fine, but I'm not having to say no to loads of things. And I think that that is definitely something worth thinking about. If you do think that you miss things, you know, are you saying no to so much now where you could actually, you know, still go? Okay, so last question. A year ago, where did you think you'd be right now? So it is really hard to think about a year ago, like what I thought I would be like and where I thought I would be. I mean, obviously I really hoped that I would still be a Muslim and that I would still be practicing, you know, still be doing my prayers, my 5 prayers a day, because when I became Muslim, I had actually been learning to pray for months before that. So when I became Muslim, I was like, right, now you need to do 5 prayers a day, whereas before I was kind of doing like 2 or 3 or 4 whilst I was learning. You know, so I really hoped that obviously those prayers, for example, would be in my daily routine. And I guess I always also thought, you know, that I would have maybe more like things of sunnah in my routine and more Arabic words, which hasn't necessarily happened, but it also has. Like, you know, it's taken me a long time to remember to say Bismillah before I eat food or drink something, and I still forget, a lot of the time. But, you know, more and more I do remember. And, you know, I honestly thought as well, I was kind of really optimistic that COVID wouldn't last as long as it would. And I thought that, you know, this year I would be spending a lot more time traveling, visiting different Islamic countries, kind of seeing, you know, Muslims around the world, whereas instead I have been in the UK pretty much the whole time. But I have also met a lot of people, or not a lot, but quite a few people here in the UK, and kind of built more of those lifelong, deep, meaningful connections with people who are, you know, I do hope that are going to be in my life you know, in the future, inshallah. And that for me has also been beautiful, and I didn't expect that at all. So Allah has really amazing ways of how He actually plans out your life, and how, you know, what you think it's going to be versus what He actually creates it to be, alhamdulillah. But I guess I didn't expect that it would feel so normal. Like I said at the start, it really just does feel very normal to be Muslim now, and I didn't expect it to necessarily feel like that. Of course, there are things that I still question, there are still things that I find hard, you know, still things that I forget, absolutely. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do give it a like and let me know in the comments. Also subscribe, because I'm going to try and make some more videos, inshallah, and also follow me on Instagram as well. Thank you very much for all that you do, all the engagement, all of the messages, all of the subscribing, the likes, everything like that. It really, really does help my channel to grow and help me get these videos out to more people as well. It really, really is important, like how you support my videos and so how that helps other people as well. So I definitely want to just let you know that. And I will see you in my next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.